responded to our invitation to this very special moment. The moment of passing of a person out of this world's life into the other world's life, into God's kingdom. For us is a big moment. My mother left for us 3 things, because all other things, as Solomon would say, is meaningless. Bishop the truth. That's what she said in the hospital. Meaningless, John. To have a tube in my nose, so I can't swallow, can't enjoy my food. The 3 things I hate, John, she said. I'm starting with these few words. As Brother Daniel always say that it's not important how you start in life. It's not even important how you go halfway through life. But it's far more significant and important and critical how you finish life. Are you either saved or God's kingdom, or you're lost forever? And Mum had these words. She said, John, and I read from her little note. She gave me, in the last 3-4 months, a lot of information. She was a very gifted woman. And she said to me, John, and I read from her little words here in the hospital. These are her words here. He said, let my son John give all what I wrote to him, to me, for my family. For my family. As what? As a legacy of faith. And she wrote a book called A Legacy of Faith, Survival Kit. A Legacy of Faith, Survival Kit. Moștenirea credinței ca și un pachet de scule. Because you all need scule, skills, tools to deal in life with. Some of them, those tools are pens. Some of them are other things. I stop here to just simply say that we're here to celebrate what Mum has left behind and to unpack that in the shortest possible time frame during this service. And that's given the privilege and responsibility to myself and my dear pastor brother in Christ, Daniel Rich, pastor of this church. I'm going to, later on, I'll be talking about, in my statement, just what she said. Not what I said, but what she said. What others said about her. And how she went through 3 transformational periods in her life. From just a nobody, important, and nothing really, an orphan, to coming to Australia, to being Maria Hanciu, which is my father's way of saying, my Mary, because she was married, they're separated for 12 years. Then I'll say about a period in their life when he called her Maria Sa, because he felt she was sometimes either chastising him or correcting him too much, and he felt like she was like a royal person. In Romanian it says Maria Sa means, yes, Your Royal Highness. And the third part of her life is where she finished the last 10 years, and last 15 years more exactly, because my father said, no Maria Hanciu, not my Mary, not Maria Sa, Your Royal Highness, but Maria Sa, a daughter of the King of Heaven, because she wrote, and she wrote, and she read. We're going to unpack all that, so you understand why she did it. And that's right. But for now, we welcome you all. My sister, especially Helen, and granddaughter, Maria's granddaughter. We thank Simply Beautiful for organising all this. We appreciate it. Kim and Laura, God bless you. You've done a wonderful job in such a short time. I thank Ovidu for coming to film. I thank Professor our old friend Ted Holmes, would have been my father's age. I don't want to single everybody, but Sora Anaveras with us, long-time friend, heard that Brother Yosef Afos were pioneers in bringing up the faith to Melbourne from Bonegilla, yeah? I think it was Bonegilla in the camp, 1950, wasn't it? And then they came here, they met, and then the Christian faith kind of grew slowly by slowly. And then the stafetta was passed on to more modern pastors. And my father was not a pastor, but he was a Christian leader, like Brother Ardles Yosef, who unfortunately passed away in 58. And my father passed away 10 years ago. God bless those two families for their contribution. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here, some of us. And we appreciate the coming sister today. I want to say thank you for all individually, but thank you all collectively. God bless you that you chose to be with us today. Now we're going to proceed with the program. We'll come back on it. Yes. We now close the coffin. And now we start with the opening prayer, which Brother Daniel will say in Romanian.
I'm going to say a few words in Romanian language now, and we're starting with a prayer. Tatăl nostru, ne închinăm înaintea Ta în momentele acestea și Te rugăm în numele Domnului Iisus Hristos să binecuvântezi atmosfera acestui loc.
Thank you.
Oh, you know who you are. Mum, when she entrusted me, she asked me to prepare her funeral program on the 15th of March. Before then, we actually prepared just some questions and answers. And she said, I would like these songs on the program, John. I said, anything else, Mum? No. Who would you like to come to the program to sing? He says, well, whoever is inspired by God under Florian's leadership, because I trust that he'll unpack the message of the words in those songs to fill the hearts and minds and souls like I would when I was young. And I used to sing in the orchestra and I used to sing in the choir. It's got my gaming talent. But now, John, I can't sing. I said, I know, Mum. Sometimes sing on duet or trio or quartet in the same voice because she lost the coordination of the vocal cords. That's what happens as you get old. So she asked me to do this, and I thank you, Florina, for responding. All those that have responded. God bless you. Now, my mother left me with 3 things to say to you, but actually it's more than 3. It's 3 times 3 times 3, and I have a whole dossier which wouldn't pack. I couldn't unpack it in 30 minutes. I couldn't unpack it in 30 days. So I'm going to try and summarise. I asked her, I said, how would you want me to say this? As a monologue, as a speech, or as a question and answer? Because I couldn't be boring everybody to death. Because you're now here, you've passed away. And if everybody listens to my monologue, it'll be like boring. I said, John, you know how to do it. We talked about this. Use Kipling's approach. Kipling's approach? What's that? I said, John, you taught me when you went to management studies that Kipling said that 6 wise honest, or one honest woman, 1 wise honest man. Mr. Why, Mrs. How, Mrs. Which, when, where, and how you do it. Use those out of everything I do. And plus you, plus the family, plus God, the Father, the Son, makes more than 10, more than the choir. Use those. That's what I've used. So you can use a dialogue. Question and answer. So what are the 3 things she left me to say? She said, John, I was blessed to leave behind a legacy. That's the most important thing that I want you to say. What kind of legacy, Mum? Is it land? Is it money in the bank? Is it shares? John, none of those. My legacy is a spiritual legacy. It is a legacy of devotion that I've had for the last 10, 15 years of my life, especially since Dad passed away last 10 years. I devoted myself to reading the Bible, writing poetry, Christian poetry, verse, writing devotionals, reading and changing them. It says, leave these to my nepots. She said, John, my burial sermon, I don't want you to say much about me. I want to say everything about what God has done in my life, in my family's life. That's number 1. That's why we say, celebrating the life of Maria Hanciu, a self-sacrificial, committed to God, and giving Him glory, praise, and honor from a young teenager to 89 when she passed away, which was 12 months. So I'm not going to say anything about me. But if I do say my name appears there, it's only because she wanted me to say, because we learn from each other. Or from Dad, or from God, or from the Word of God. So what are the first 3 things, Mum, that you want to say about your legacy? What kind of legacy? It's a spiritual legacy, John. So what do you want to say, Mum? Well, tell my nepots, my grandchildren, my children, my brothers in Christ, my churches. By the way, that is in the Revista Speranza and appears according to a video is here. And if you're not on his list already, of receiving that electronically, Revista Speranza, which is here, there's 700, 800 brother people receiving it.
Almost 800.
Almost 800. So her poem in there, or her, it's already appeared in 800 places for the glory of God. So that's why we give it to you, because that's important to her. It's her legacy to us. To capture those Christian values that builds character, that builds strength. She was a fighter. But without God, you're a loser. You're not a winner. With God, you're a fighter that wins. Every time. Every time. The second thing she said to me, that I'm going to pass on to as part of my spiritual legacy, John, apart from the devotionals, which are those, and John, I wrote 1,600 pages, and I summarized them down to just the bare essentials now. Now they're actually 365 pages. Wow. Only one other person I know who's done something similar. That person sits here, Ted Holmes. And in that bag there are all his poems. The 10 or 12 books, Ted. How many books have you written poetry for Christ?
10.
10, thank you. Only other person I know that's done something similar to my mum, amongst us, is Brother Ted, who inspired Mum enormously. Thank you for coming, Ted. So she said, my part of my legacy, John, is also my poems. She wrote 110 poems. You have them in the program. I'm not going to read it. The programs you have, and this beautiful, simply beautiful invitation that Laura and Kim from Simply Beautiful Funerals have prepared. There's also a poem in there. So I'm going to read it out to you. I don't want to have time. She's passed them on to you already, to the program. Her legacy, her poems. And they'll be printed. And I think Peter Wood, one of my long friends, we've been a teenager, from teenage years, he'll be doing, after Ovidu will be doing the filming, we'll be doing a film, and he'll be editing. And all of this will be unpacked and back again as part of a program to honour Mum and to honour God that she served. So if you miss on anything today, on the programs, there's a website called www.qssf.info, and that's where everything will appear. I'm trying to summarise. Remember, I've got all this. Each one has its own package. Each one's got its own package, so it took us quite some time to go through it all. So we'll unpack it all slowly. Just give me time. I'll still finish in time. So then she said, I said, well, what's the third spiritual legacy you want to leave behind to your reports? And to your family, and to your friends, and to your churches, and to your readers, and to your family overseas? Reports. I said, John, this is very important to me. I haven't finished it, and I want you to take all the notes. And you do whatever you think appropriate. Like I've given you permission in the permission to print the devotions, which are half of which are already printed, that they actually edited, and the other are going to be edited soon. And the poems, I've got the book of poems here. And you know what it says on the poems, the book of poems, the 110? She says, in very subliminal, very subtle, almost, you can't even read the words. And she says, poesie. Spread glory Domini. But you've got to have the spiritual eyes. If you don't put your spiritual eyes on it, oh, that's fudged writing, I can't even read it. But that's just Maria. That's very, very subliminal, very subtle, very gentle, very soft. I'll show you later to have a look at it. But the poem that is in the program is from this book, number 68, I believe. So she said, John, apart from the legacy of the devotionals, which some of which are already printed, and some of the poems have been printed in other magazines, Christian magazines, she said, you must thank Brother Kostika for establishing a column. And that's the column that you got from Brother Kostika, who is the editor of the Revista Speranza. But apart from that, she said, it's this legacy of faith, an instruction set or kit set of how to deal with issues in life, how I dealt with them. I said, well, Mum, who will want to read that? John, it's for God's glory. I would like you to finish it and promise that you will, and you pass it on as a legacy to your children, to your family, and to your sister's family, and to your friends, and to your church. I said, Mum, as always, I stand by what I say. I'll do my very best. And if I fail you, Mum, please forgive me. In anything that I fail you. And so, this book she wrote, and these are some of the things from the book that I'm just encapsulating in the very few minutes we've got left. So I asked her, I said, Mum, what determined you to write and read and become so imbibed, to attract the Word of God into you daily? I said, John, I've been a Christian since I was a teenager. In 1939, I was here in the Sunday school with her sister at the Simeon Benutsu in Oradea. 1939, I'm not sure where you and I were, I wasn't around. And then we see her later in other pictures, again in church life. And then when she comes to Australia with the 3 children that you saw up there, which you should be showing the slides, you see the 3 children, Mum and 3 children, and then you see Dad on a photo of his own in 1954 with the church in Collins Street. Dad was in Australia from 1950, but she's in Romania looking for 12 years after. There she is there with her Mum and Dad, and now as she was in the last few days. There she is at, I think, Sunday school. But she said, John, this book, Legacy of Faith, as a kit of survival, or survival kit, is very important. I said, why? He said, John, I learned when Helen and your dad and I went to Romania, you remember you left a book, she said, at our place? I said, vaguely. And I came to drop it to you because you're working on the 39th floor. And I visited you, just the same as Helen visited me at work, and the picture's up there too, Helen, where you take a picture of Mum and someone takes a picture of you, take a picture of Mum. It's quite funny, but it's real. It happened, yeah? She was a contometrist. It was there. And in 1982, before I went to Romania, she came to my place of work. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't come and take the keys from you. I don't even want the keys to the farm. You go for 1, 2, 3 months with Helen. Have a good time in Romania. I'm here trying to sort of help work with the COA group, with Sir Roderick Carnegie. He has since been made also AO as well. And they came to my place of work. And she said, John, this book that you left here helped me to give my mental space to Christ. I said, how's that? John, the book is called The Power of Positive Thinking. You said that your boss gave you 60 books to read, and you had to read them for 6 months before you went out in the field. And I took the liberty of actually reading it and buying my own copy. Wow, I said, that's remarkable, Mum. You did that. I said, do you know why I did that? By the way, I wasn't a Christian then. And I did too, I was not a Christian. But I was struggling in my work. And I had to read the writings of St. Augustine. I had to read the writings of some other guru on capacity, human capacity. And I shared that with Mum and Dad. And when they came to the place to give me the book and go for lunch, it was just a coincidence that my boss dropped down from his 45th floor. I said to him, oh, what a coincidence. Mum, Dad, he's my professional dad. He's teaching me management. But you're my parents, biological. But he's my professional dad. Mum said to him, Sir, in a very humble way, we want to show our thanks and appreciation and for picking John from so many people to do this work and giving the opportunity to research books. I really want to. Oh, you know, that's the way it's. You did know, so I said, the way he said, here's the Irving. Good to meet you. Bye-bye. I was very busy. Got 25 boards. And Mum said, wow, John, what's for you after this job? I said, Mum, they want me to travel not 20 weeks a year, but 40 weeks a year. And I hate it. I said, John, she said, I don't know. You have to try. I said, you know what they taught us? They had an interview with we had to look at this. I said, and this interview was with an Indian chief in Canada, part of the material I had to read. And I said to her, this man is also a Christian, by the way. He's on the board of Salvation Army as well as 25 other boards. Salvation Army is not for profit, I said. And he said, I want to leave a legacy when I leave this company, this corporation of 10 corporations. Look at Chief Billy Whitewolf, he said to us. I said, Chief Billy Whitewolf? She said, who's that? I said, he's a tribal chief of a group of Indians in Canada. And, well, there was an American reporter that interviewed him. He said, Chief Billy Whitewolf, all your children, all your young people are no longer around the fireplace. Where are they? And Chief Billy Whitewolf, I said to Mum and Dad, turned to him and said, it's your fault, young man. It's your world's fault. It's the glitz, it's the glamour, it's gold, it's the games. It's all those things that your world attracted my young warriors, and are no longer here, and only the old people are here. And I said, Mum, Dad, I don't think I like to be part of such a legacy here in this corporation because I have to travel so much. I have to work 12, 14, 15, 16 hours a day. And she said to me, John, you have to think of the legacy, John. Like this man, this tribal chief is thinking. And she said, well, what did they do? How did they fix the problem that the young people are no longer coming? Well, I said it. Chief of the tribe said to the American, not only is your fault, but it's your world that needs to change, not my world. Because if I want to have my clan and my values and my culture and my language and my songs and my dances passed as a legacy, stafeta, baton, relating to the next generation, it's you, Mr. Reporter, that needs to go into your world and say, we have really done the wrong thing by the American Red Indians. It's you that have to change, not me. You bring them back. You bring them back. You're American. You subscribe to the glitz, to the glamour, to all those things. John, she said, you're describing yourself. You're part of this thing too, she said. You need God. You need God in your life. That book you gave me, John, you know what it says? The motto of the book that this Reverend wrote, The Power of Positive Thinking. He said, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Podvaci totul prin Hristos care mă întărește zilnic. That's why her title does say puterea zilnică, the reînnoire, the power, the daily power of renewal, spiritual renewal. He said to me also, John, if your mental space does not contain God, but contains the world of the glitz and the glamour that American and that tribal chief Indian said, if your space of your mind doesn't contain God, but only contains the world of things, then that's what you're going to be. You put garbage in your head, you'll be garbage too. You put God in your head, gospel in your head, you'll be godly man. They went to Romania then with Helen, my sister. They came back and they introduced me to our new pastor, their new pastor, Brother Gavril Shan. They introduced me to the family, had them at our place for lunch, and I committed my life to Christ. And that's the turning point in my life. And I thank that to my mum. If it wasn't for my mum reading the book, I had no one possession, which I didn't know how to unpack and how to interpret and what to do with it. I would still be part of that world of glitz and glamour and on the board of directors, because that's what I was heading. My mother said, "What are they planning for you here, John?" I said, "They're asking me to become the chief of system audit." "What's that mean?" I said, 7 years committed to the company. "What's after that?" "Board position of #1 company." But I don't want that. I left the job. And I eventually started my own consultancy. And then Mum said, "Wow, that's fantastic." I said, "Mum, it's even harder here." They came back from Romania and brought some pictures. Amongst them was an Alparianka that happens to have the name of an angel, Gabriella. Mum says, "John, we know you had long relationships in the past, but Gabriella, she's different. She's a transformed person from Moravia." And Mum and Dad said, "Would you like to write to her? Here's her photo." She was dressed in white at Alpari. And you know, I couldn't write, and Mum helped me to write letters, and Dad's polished them further, and that's how we introduced. I still have another 5-6 minutes after 35. I'm going by that clock over there. I hope it's right. So then, time transpired. Things changed. In 2002, they were very sick. And we had to close down my consultancy practice and allow them to stay in my place. I had 2 bedrooms. There was my office at the back. I slept with my father for 6 weeks in the same bed just to manage his medical condition, because there's no such thing as 24 hours nursing home. One of my friends recently took his 93-year-old mother to the nursing home, paid $365,000, and the 3rd day she fell out of bed. Happened to have been bad care, by the way, one of ours. And yet they advertise falsely 24/7 care. Don't believe it. And so Dad said, I took Dad and Mum to various nursing homes in various places, and he said to me, and Mum there too, "John, we only have one son and one daughter. Well, we think our son can take care of us because he's got the conditions. I want to stay with you, not in a nursing home." So that's how we drew closer from 2002 to now, just so you understand the background. I asked her, Mum, I said, "You told us what has changed your perspective on Christian living in that book, that positive power of thinking, that if you don't give space in your mind and your daily space to God, then you're part of the world. How has that changed you?" This is in hospital now. The last 6 weeks, 4 months, since November, when she had her 4th heart attack. She said, "John, I live for my Lord, I write for Him, I pray for everyone." I asked the doctors, with my wife there, you know, the hospitals have NUMS, and NUMS stands for Nursing Unit Manager. In a public hospital, you have 3 NUMS because there are 3 shifts. But if the hospitals are twin sisters, you have 6 NUMS. But above them, you have what I call nursing consultant. And I asked the nursing consultant, who was responsible for all the nurses in cardiology in 2 hospitals. I said, her name is Liz, and she sends out condolences and apologies that she can't be with us. She said, John, your mother was a very, very special person. We've never met anyone as special as her. And we had lots of people in here. She's been crystal clear until the morning she passed away. I said, Liz, tell me this, because people ask me, how many cardiology doctors do you have in this hospital in Sunshine? I said, John, we have 3 registrars here, 3 registrars there. They're cardiology specialists. Under them we have 2, each shift we have 2. That's 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. And by the time you add up all the cardiology doctors and their bosses and consultants, there are 40 doctors in the last 12 months. Because I asked her, how many doctors have seen Mum in the last 12 months? John, with ED and ICU and all the others and specialists, 40, 50 doctors, John. We've done the best we could to save your mother, because she wanted to live another 2 months. Why? Because she wanted to finish off her book. And she said to the doctors, with me and my wife there, if you can give me just another 2 months until my birthday, by then I'll finish my book, my last of the three spiritual legacies I'll leave to my family and friends. And the doctor said, we don't know. We can't give you any guarantee, because heart condition, congestive heart failure, CHF condition, is progressive and unpredictable. Unlike cancer, which is progressive but predictable, because slowly slides down to another date. And then the doctors and Dr. Andrew, he said, John, your mother was a remarkable lady. I said, why do you say that? I know why but why do you say that? He said, John, heart attacks. If a person over 65 has a heart attack, within 5 years they pass away. They're dead. Your mother's had the first heart attack 12 years ago. Wow. And then she had the number 2, and number 3, and then number 4. And she had a fall, and she had stroke. John, she's a remarkable fighter. She's a remarkable woman. I said, Andrew, I thank you for that. That'd be an extra little bit to add to her passing away comments, like today. And she said, John, we've done everything we could. I even went outside for plan B and plan C to see if we can still save her. And I had people ready to give her plan B and plan C for medication that the hospital could not supply. And Mum knew about it. And she finally said, John, asked Brother Daniel to bring me the Lord's Supper. And that was Sunday a week ago, I believe. And I have certain things that she read then, and I will pass them on to the family, but not now. Before the Lord's Supper, I said, Mum, I'll share with you the Lord's Supper of Reverend Richard Wormbrand when he was in jail. And this was shared by Paul Negwitz in a recent visit to Newmarket Church. And I said, Mum, Richard Wormbrand was in jail for similar things that Dad did, because Dad was a notar, which is a public notary or public town clerk, and he forgave too many farmers not to pay taxes, because after the 4 years of war, 5 years of war, Romania was desolate. In fact, America helped them with 2 shipments of grain, of wheat. And even then, they couldn't have any wheat to grow. And Mum knows about that, because I see Helen and Mum and Dad La Orvichelle, where he was a notar, close to Burzuk, which is Paul Negwitz's place of birth. By the way, we're long-time friends with Paul Negwitz. Dad, as a notar, welcomed Paul Negwitz's father from the war. And And Paul Nicholas knows about all that. And we're family friends for years. And she says, John, it's very important, this Lord's Supper, because it's the last one. I said, well, let me show you this very unique Lord's Supper that Brother Warmbrand had in jail, where Dad could have been, for the things he did as an altar. And Paul Nicholas says, Brother Warmbrand said to his fellow prisoners, they were Christians, that we're going to have Lord's Supper. But one said to him, but Richard, what are we going to have? We don't have bread, we don't have the vine, the grape juice, we don't have glasses, we don't have the tablecloth, we don't have anything. There's nothing. And she said, pretend in your mental space, pretend in your soul and your heart that you've got it. Pretend that you've got the broken body of Christ on the plate. Pretend that you've got the glass of wine. Pretend that you've got it. Then you pray for the bread, broken body. It's like, I can't. Why not? It's not real. It is real if you believe. Because he died on the cross. It's only a symbol here. So what if we don't have the symbol? But he is real. He died on the cross for us. Pray for the broken body. Pretend you've got it before you. You pray. God, Heavenly Father, thank you for your broken body. Bless us here and give us strength for today and tomorrow in this jail and Romania. For the things that we believe in Christ. And then I said, now serve it to all of us. And you serve it. I have nothing to serve. Exactly. So just pretend that you've got it. He's there. His broken body was there on the cross. Believe it. In your mental, spiritual mind. And he served it to the others as a broken body. And then the same thing with the glass. So now you pray for the glass. But I don't have a glass. Exactly, he got nothing. But his blood was shed on the cross. Do you believe that? She says, yes, I do. I'm going to pray for the blood. And he prayed. God, Heavenly Father, thank you. Thank you for your Son that bled on the cross for me and many others. Thank you for his blood that poured and washed away my stains, my peccat, my sins. And, you know, then I gave thanks. I said, Mum, this is what Paul Negru said, that that's what they had at Oradia. They had nothing, but God blessed the nothing. And they had a university now, and they have a church, big church. Mum, when you were born, you had nothing. You were an orphan because your father passed away. Can I share this with the church? John, tell them that I'm nothing with Christ. I'm nothing with Christ. Sunt totul prin El care mă întărește fiecare zi. Everything through Him that died on the cross, that bled on the cross, because I believe in Him. I give you mental space for that message every day to be renewed in my body, in my mind, in my spirit. I said, can I leave this with the church and the brothers and the sisters and the family? John, this is the message. They are all nothing without Christ. In conclusion, I try to unpack as much as I can. Whatever I've left out, you will leave it on the website. Can I just say this? That at the last day of our day with the company, but then the last thing she said to me, and this is not to go there, this is just to show you why she said it. The last thing she she left with me was this. She said, John, and she whispered because she couldn't talk anymore. And she had a tube, oxygen tube, 24/7 stuck in her nose. She said, there are 3 things I hate, John. I had this long tube of oxygen in my nose. I can't even go to the toilet without it. The second thing I hate, John, I hate eating. I can't swallow anymore. And I can't talk anymore. I can only whisper and I can write still. She had a small pencil. And she'd have lots and lots of paper we give her. And then she said that the third thing I hate is nighttime when I sleep. Because it's so lonely in a hospital bed, and by the time they come, it's minutes and it feels like hours. And the cardiologist experts have to come and resurrect me. They resurrected me almost 4 times in the last 4 months, including an intervention. But John, I now believe in what King Solomon said. So what's that? What's that now? She said, John, when you see me like this, when you see me like this, everything is disappearing. Like King Solomon says. She's now had a walking frame. She's had a walker. She's had a wheelchair. She's had, you can see here the walking frame. She's now been fed in a special hospital provided table. She's got the oxygen at the back somewhere. I don't know, somewhere there. All the aids to survive. All the tools to survive. She said, John, when you reach this stage, I don't want to live like this. I want to go to the Lord. I'm ready, John, to go home to the Lord. Ask Brother Daniel to give me the Lord's Supper, the last Lord's Supper. I have a lot to tell you, but Mum loved all of you. I've said enough. Her time has come. She knew it. And Bishop Tachuni in English says, my life is meaningless. It's reached the end, John. Tell everybody I love them, but I'm going to be going home to my Lord and Savior. And what else she said? She said, I wait for the pastor, the church, your family, all our friends to meet you up there. God bless you, you've come and shared in her life. I've tried to say as little as possible about myself, but all about Him and His glory. And Maria, son, His godly child. Because that's what she is now. And not this dead body that goes to the grave. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you and God bless you. And now we go back to the Lord, right?
La
Aș vrea să transmit condoleanțe și gândul nostru în partea bisericii, în mod special pentru familia îndoliată. Ne rugăm ca Dumnezeu să-i întărească, Dumnezeu să-i binecuvânteze. Dar recunoaștem în atmosfera acestui loc că toți avem nevoie de binecuvântarea lui Dumnezeu. Toți alergăm în viața aceasta și dacă ne uităm la perspectiva de dincolo, vedem că avem nevoie toți de binecuvântarea lui Dumnezeu. Toți trecem prin suferință într-un anume fel. Uneori păstrăm liniște în sufletele noastre, medităm la ce a fost, ce este, ce o să vină. Alții dintre noi preferă să se exteriorizeze foarte mult și să-și exprime suferința, să o ducă în felul acesta. Îl cunosc pe fratele John de multă vreme. Este felul lui de a fi. Suferă. A plecat mama la Domnul și a vrut să spună cât mai mult ca să-și arate suferința. Noi suntem aici în primul rând pentru că este familia îndoliată și vrem ca să ne exprimăm chemarea pe care Dumnezeu ne-o face nouă, să suportăm, să încurajăm, să îmbărbătăm și să aducem nădejde. Pentru că Dumnezeu ne dă nădejdea. O nădejde despre care Cuvântul lui Dumnezeu spune că nu înșeală. O nădejde care trece dincolo de suferință. Doar foarte sumar aș vrea să vă spun câteva lucruri din Epistola Apostolului Pavel către Timotei, capitolul 4, dacă se poate proiecta, de la versetul 6, vorbește marele om al lui Dumnezeu, așteptând trecerea, așa cum și sora Maria a așteptat trecerea, și cred eu că ne provoacă și pe noi să gândim așteptând trecerea. Cuvântul lui Dumnezeu spune în versetul 6, 2 Timotei 4:6, căci eu, spune Apostolul Pavel, eu sunt gata să fiu turnat ca o jertfă de băutură și clipa plecării mele este aproape. Versetul 7, m-am luptat lupta cea bună, mi-am terminat, mi-am isprăvit alergarea, am păzit credința. Versetul 8. De acum așteaptă cununa neprihănirii pe care mi-o va da în ziua aceea Domnul, judecătorul cel drept, și nu numai mie, ci și tuturor celor ce vor fi iubit venirea Domnului Iisus, că despre El este vorba. Dragii mei, 3 lucruri foarte scurt. În primul rând am vrea să vedem, și eu m-am uitat atent, că Apostolul Pavel se uită retrospectiv așteptând plecarea. Și spune el în cuvintele scurte, știu cum am trăit. În radiografia scurtă pe care o realizează în momentele acelea de la urmă, își exprimă convingerea că este slujitorul lui Dumnezeu, că a trăit în prezența lui Dumnezeu, că a trăit și în prezența fraților, a oamenilor care se uită la noi. De altfel, el spune în Faptele Apostolilor 20, 19 la 35, vă citesc, am slujit Domnului cu toată smerenia, cu multe lacrimi și în mijlocul încercărilor pe care mi le ridicau uneltirile ideilor. Știți că n-am ascuns nimic din ce vă era de folos. N-am încercat să sfătuiesc cu lacrimi pe fiecare dintre voi. N-am râvnit nici la argintul, nici la aurul, nici la hainele cuiva. Știți că mâinile acestea au lucrat pentru trebuințele mele și ale celor ce erau cu mine. În toate privințele v-am dat o pildă, un exemplu. Ireproșabil să trăiești în ziua de astăzi, în actualul, în prezent, așteptând perspectiva de dincolo. Numai perspectiva aceasta te face să trăiești frumos. Amin. Ce alt motiv ți-ar motiva trăirea frumoasă dacă nu aștepți cerul? Trec repede la punctul 2. Apostolul spune în cuvintele acestea scurte din 2 Timotei, își afirmă convingerea că știe ce îl așteaptă. E convins, știe ce îl așteaptă. Dragii mei, existența umană se desfășoară pe două coordonate. Una este terestră, aceasta din viața de aici. Și cealaltă este perspectiva eternității în viața de dincolo. Și noi trăim între ele. Apostolul Pavel știe ce îl așteaptă după perspectiva aceasta. E convins că viața nu se termină la mormânt. E convins că el nu sfârșește într-un coșciug sau într-un sicriu. El știe ce îl așteaptă și trăiește și este gata să fie turnat ca o jertfă pentru că știe și are convingerea ce este după viața aceasta. Apostolul Pavel știe ce îl așteaptă. Dragii mei, când m-am gândit adânc la acest aspect, el se uită la călăul care vine să-i curme viața și acela este moartea. Și foarte senin, cu fața strălucind de bucurie, își exteriorizează perspectiva de dincolo și spune, știu ce mă așteaptă dincolo. Dar nu te uiți la ce vine, nu te uiți la momentele grele, nu te uiți la mormânt, nu te uiți la sicriu, nu te uiți la... Nu! Astea sunt momente pentru că eu trec din viața aceasta la viața de dincolo. Apostolul Pavel știe ce îl așteaptă. Avem o cântare la 435. Spune așa, locaș ceresc eu am aflat, prin Isus mi l-am câștigat, acolo veșnic este zi, acolo noapte nu va fi. Când ai convingerea aceasta în inimă și trăiești în fiecare zi cu această convingere, cum te uiți la moarte? Senin, zâmbind, pentru că perspectiva de dincolo te motivează. Mă apropii de sfârșit. Ultimul punct. În ultimul punct, Apostolul Pavel spune, fiindcă știu că nu sunt singur. Dragii mei, învățăm din Cuvântul lui Dumnezeu că cerul va fi foarte aglomerat. Și noi studiem Apocalipsa și vedem mulțimea și mereu este exprimată mulțimea celor care merg în cer. Avem o cântare frumoasă, nu am timp, nu mai citesc din cuvânt, vă citesc cântarea aceasta că m-a atins inima. La 456 spune așa, sus, deasupra stelelor, aleluia, amin, e mulțimea sfinților, aleluia, amin, care aici s-au ostenit, care mult au suferit. Acolo s-or odihni, aleluia, amin. Apostolul Pavel știe că în cer nu este singur și de aceea termină în versetul ultim, versetul 8. De acum mă așteaptă cununa neprihănirii pe care mi-o va da în ziua aceea Domnul Judecătorul cel drept și nu numai mie, ci și tuturor celor ce vor fi iubit venirea Lui. În Apocalipsa 7:9, cuvântul lui Dumnezeu spune o mare gloată pe care nu o putea să o numere nimeni. Din orice neam, din orice seminție, din orice popor și din orice limbă. Noi ne apropiem de încheiere. La serviciile funebre e tendință să se vorbească foarte mult celui care a trecut din viața aceasta. Nu-i biblic, dragii mei. Sora Maria a vrut să vină la biserică de multe ori. N-a mai putut, săraca, în ultima vreme. Noi nu mai putem să-i vorbim mie. Nu mai ne aude. Aude într-o altă dimensiune, dacă vreți mai corect. Dar putem să ne vorbim? Nu. La ce te inspiră atmosfera aceasta? Care e perspectiva vieții de aici? Dar mai mult, care e perspectiva vieții de dincolo? Îndrăznesc să citesc doar câteva cuvinte pe care sora Maria le avea în inimă. Nu mai poate ea să le spun, că aș pune să o spun. Dar vi le spun eu. Din Sfânta Scriptură noi aflăm că omul se naște un om păcătos. Moștenind păcatul lui Adam, de aceea trebuie schimbat omul, întors. Omul, sau el nu se poate schimba singur. Așa găsim noi în Cartea Sfântă. Doar Dumnezeu poate face această schimbare. Doar atunci când omul ascultă vocea lui Dumnezeu. Astfel omul devine un om nou, o făptură care se schimbă, care nu mai dorește a face răul. Și spune adevărul cu limba lui. El își predă inima și viața în mâna Domnului Iisus Hristos neforțat. Pentru că Domnul Iisus este ușa. Ușa spre cer, unde e Dumnezeu împărat. Iar Domnul Iisus șade la dreapta Lui, a împăratului, înconjurat de slavă și de îngeri, privind jos, ajută omul. Omul care îl urmează pe Domnul sincer. Căci El este regele regilor și Domnul domnilor. Acel care s-a jertfit pe cruce, îngrozitor. Ca noi să putem primi iertarea. Suflete, ești tu acea făptură? Dacă nu, vino acum la Domnul Iisus Hristos. El te face o făptură nouă și vei fi fericit aici și acolo în cer sus. Amin? Amin. Sunt cuvintele sorei Maria Hanciu. Încă o dată ne rugăm ca Dumnezeu să binecuvânteze familia Dolet. Și termin cu ce am început. Dar toți avem nevoie de binecuvântarea lui Dumnezeu. Amin? Amin.
Share with you the last devotion that we had in hospital. And Brother Daniel will allow me to share that at the funeral in English. And it's based on the Ezekiel which we had in the church as well. And we'll you might go about 5 minutes, but it's one of the things I promised my mum that I'd do. Without further ado, thank you very much for everybody coming. Appreciate all your condolences and wishes of support and prayer support and all the things that you've done for Mum and my family. God bless you abundantly. And we give Him praise. As it says there, we give Him glory and praise and honor for everything. Amen. Brother Daniel, if we can close in prayers, perhaps I'd ask someone, I think I'd ask if I can confront Daniel. Daniel is Arabian. Mama was born in Iraq, and they visited each other. And Mama said, please pray in whichever language you feel comfortable with. But loud and clear so we can hear you.
Last devotion that I had with Mum in hospital last week or so, which I want to share with you because she asked me to. So I shared the legacy that she wants to leave behind to her children and her grandchildren, the legacy as I described it to you in that talk in the church, the spiritual legacy of the devotions, the spiritual legacy of the poems, and the spiritual legacy of a survival kit. And now I want to share, and we'll share with you the Last Supper that she had Brother Daniel in the hospital. And I'll share with you other things she said. But she hates three things. She hates the thing in her nose, and then she hates the food she can't eat, and because she hates even going to sleep because she doesn't know where she is when she's in pain. And all the notes she wrote, she kept on saying, then with a little pencil, this much pencil to the staff in the hospital, keep this for my son when he comes. Keep this for the family. Give it to my son to give to the family and friends. This here is the last devotion I had with her. And it's from Ezekiel, chapter 37, verses 1 to 10. I'll read in English. And it's about the valley of dry bones. Ezekiel says, I felt the powerful presence of the Lord, and his spirit took me and set me down in a valley where the ground was covered with bones. He led me all around the valley, and I could see that there were many, very many bones, and that they were very dry. He said to me, mortal man, can these bones come back to life? I replied, Sovereign Lord, only you can answer that. He said, prophecy to the bones. Tell these dry bones to listen to the word of the Lord. Tell them that I, the Sovereign Lord, am saying to them, I am going to put breath into you and bring you back to life. I will give you sinews, which are like the tissue of your skin, and muscles, and cover you with skin. I'll put breath into you and bring you back to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I had been told. While I was speaking, I heard a rattling noise, and the bones began to join together. While I watched, the bones were covered with sinews and muscle, and then with skin, but there was no breath in the bodies. God said to me, mortal man, prophecy to the wind. Tell the wind that the Sovereign Lord commands it to come from every direction, to breathe into these dead bodies and to bring them back to life. So I prophesied as I had been told. Breath entered the bodies, and they came to life and stood up. There were enough of them to form another version of the same verse, a very, very large army of men. Just 1 minute summary, 2 at the most. Before I pass on program. We'll do a Romanian committal. When I spoke to my mum about this, she said to me, adică o mare, o foarte mare, o armată foarte mare, a great army from those bones, John? That's right, Mum. Wow, she said, Sheminona, what a wonderful description of a picture of a dead and disintegrated bones of so many people, and through the power of the Holy Spirit of God, a revival, a transformation, a înviere, we say, a resurrection of these bones, which were revitalized to life, to receive life, breath, skin, muscle, everything in their bodies, in such a large army, very large army. And they all receive the same fulfilled life, and they were revitalized or renewed to a life that is renewed and revitalized because he, the robot, servitorul, servant, because he, the slave, the servant of God, Ezekiel, was obedient to God, and he did what God asked him to do. Now I said the essence of transformation for us is for God to lift us, to uplift us to a spiritual level where He occupies our mental capacity, our mental space. And we give Him that space, and then the renewal will start. And that way, she said, we can then become of real value from almost nothing. In fact, from nothing. We give them nothing to God like I did, John. And God's blessed me with so much enjoyment the last 10 years of my life. Tell Brother Dan and the others, I want to be with him. Because I've reached that level of my spiritual life where I can do no more. Everything is now, everything now is meaningless, John. I can't eat, I can't drink, I can't even sleep. But I trust you, Helen, and your families, and the church, and the Brother Daniel in God's care. I commit you to them. On Sunday, before she passed away, we had the prayer at 9-10 o'clock at night. I said, Mama, we don't know whether we're going to see each other tomorrow or the next month or 2 or 3, but we're going to pray. And we prayed and we committed her to God that night before she passed away the next day. And I hand over to Brother Daniel to have a committal word or two, 5-10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then a committal prayer. Then we're going to sing a song. The body of my mother, our mother, Maria Hanciu, Maria Sonia Hanciu, will be lowered into this grave next to my father, who is also here as well.
În locul acesta, te rugăm să primești închinarea noastră, te rugăm să sfințești închinarea noastră, te rugăm să ne atingi în minte și în inimă și ajută-ne să înțelegem că stăm în fața unei gropi deschise.